talking personal development. But it's where he started, so let me share the thoughts he shared with me back then. Let me share them with you. Here's the best lesson I can give you on economics. Very simple. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. That's about as simple as I can put economics. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Now, it takes time to bring value to the marketplace. However, we do not get paid for time. So we cross that out. Mistakenly, the man says, I'm making about $20 for an hour. Not true. If that was true, you could just stay home, right? Have them send your money. So that's not true. We don't get paid for time. We get paid for value brought to the marketplace. Now, since that's true, here's one of the key questions of my talk to you today. Is it possible to become twice as valuable to the marketplace and make twice as much money in the same time? Is that possible? The answer is yes. Could you become 3 times as valuable as you might be right now to the marketplace and make 3 times as much money in the same time? And the answer is yes. 5 times, 10 times? Of course. America is unique. It's a ladder to climb. It starts down here, let's say, at $5 an hour, and it keeps going up. Top income last year, $80 million. The guy who runs Coca-Cola. Now, that's a heck of a ladder. Why everybody wants to come here, right? The both people are not headed for Vietnam. People haven't plotted and schemed for 50 years saying if I could just get to Poland, everything would be okay. Not true. Everybody wants to come to America. And the reason is because we've got the best wind ever blowing in our favor. We've got the best economic opportunity anybody's had in 6,500 years. And all you have to do is understand it and take advantage of it. Now, there's some key questions to ask here. Why would the marketplace pay someone only $5 an hour? Very simple answer. They're not very valuable to the marketplace. Now, we must underline to the marketplace. This person might be a very valuable brother. Yes. Member of the family, valuable. Yes. Valuable member of the church, of course. Valuable citizen of the country. Yes. Valuable in the sight of God, no doubt. We're all of equal value in the sight of God. But if you're not very valuable to the marketplace, you don't get much money. You say, well, it shouldn't be that way. Well, then you've got to start your own country. You know, this one's been in process for 200 years, and this is the best we've been able to come up with so far. But here's the key. You don't have to stay here. Now, there was a big debate in Congress last year that this $5 is not enough, should be 6, should be 6, should be 6. But we don't need legislation. 6 is already on this ladder. The next step up. You know, if you work for McDonald's, they'll pay you $5 an hour to take out the trash. If you whistle while you take out the trash, they'll pay you $6 an hour. So we don't need that legislation. You just need to take lessons on how to whistle. Have a good attitude. Now, as you begin to climb this ladder, why would the marketplace pay some people $50 an hour? Answer, evidently, they must be more valuable to the marketplace. 10 times more valuable. And is that possible for someone to be 10 times more valuable and earn $50 an hour instead of 5? And the answer is yes. That's what America is all about. Now, why would the marketplace pay some people $500 an hour? Evidently, this person must be much more valuable to the marketplace. That's what's important to understand, to the marketplace. And would the marketplace pay one person $80 million for 1 year's work? And the answer is, of course. If you helped a company make $1 billion, would they pay you $80 million? I'm telling you, it is possible. And that's why America is so exciting. That's why this financial ladder is so exciting. It's possible for all of this to come true for all of you, no matter where you start. As a student in school, just getting started out there in the workplace, this is all possible for you. Now, Mr. Shoaff gave me the clue on how to climb this ladder as high as I wanted to climb. Now, we're talking primarily economics here. There's a lot of other ways to become valuable to your family, valuable to your friends, valuable to the community. valuable to the team, right? Valuable to the team effort, valuable to the concert. But here's what he said to me. In climbing this ladder economically, all you have to do is work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Once I heard that, it made sense to me. I kept hoping that everything else would change around me, found out that if I went to work on myself, worked on my skills, worked on my language, if I became better than I was each year, if I grew in skills and language, vocabulary, and competence, then I would become attractive to the marketplace. Not very long ago, a company called me and said, Mr. Owen, we're expanding internationally. We'd like to have a bit of your expertise to help us. Would you give us a bit of your time? We'll add some millions to your fortune. And I said, okay. And I thought later, isn't that interesting? They would call me. Then my second thought was, of course they'd call me. Who else would they call? I can get the job done. Now, what a contrast for me, farm boy from Idaho, raised in obscurity, parents of modest means, broke when I was 25. How come I would get a telephone call and someone offer me a lot of money to help them in expanding around the world? Simple answer, evidently, something happened to me between age 25 and where I am today. And I can tell you where it all started. But my teacher, Mr. Shope, said to me, you don't have to change what's going on out there. That's the wind that's blowing. All we have to do is change what's going on in here. And now there's several ways to do that on personal development. And let me give you those ways. Here's the first one. We must learn from personal experience. Pretty simple. Learn from what happens to you. Take a look back over the last few months. Did you make some mistakes? How could you correct those for the future? Take a look back over the last year. Have you done it right or done it wrong? Let's correct it for the next year. Learn from your personal experience. Mr. Shope asked me when I first met him, he said, Mr. Owen, how are you doing? You've been out there now 6 years. And I said, I'm not doing very well. He said, I suggest you not do that anymore. What a simple, swift analysis of my situation. He said, if you keep doing it, the next 6 years will be like the last 6. You don't want that to happen. Let's make the changes. So learn from your personal experience. Now, here's number 2, why I came to share this video experience with you today. And that, I call it OPE, other people's experience. That's me, other people. That's your teacher, other people. That's your friends and colleagues, other people. The people you meet that can pass along to you their experiences, what's happened to them, the mistakes they made, how they corrected them, how they changed their health and changed their bank accounts and changed their income and changed their future. That's it. Now, there's 2 kinds of people to learn from. One is failures. It's too bad failures don't give seminars, right? That would be valuable. Bring your notebook. Have them tell you how they lost it all and threw it all away, threw their health away, and threw their friendships away, and things didn't work out well. That would be valuable. But now then, we must also learn from positive people that have done well. They've got the health, and so we ask them, how did you become so healthy? They've got the skills, so we ask them, how did you become this skillful? They've got the income, so we ask them, how did you get here in such a short period of time? Now, here's what's important in learning from other people. We learn, number 1, by observation. We learn what we see. We watch people that are successful in what they do. In sports, we watch their discipline. In business, we watch their discipline. By observation, what we can see. The reason I created this video was something that you could see someone's experiences translated for you. Second, we learn by what we hear. I've got some of my lectures on cassette tapes, so you can take them with you wherever you go and learn by listening. Turn your car into a mobile classroom and listen. And then listen to the sermon on Sunday morning. Listen to the lectures. Listen to the teacher. Listen to someone who's got something good to say. And then number 3 is vitally important on personal development, and that is read all the books. All the books you can possibly read in your lifetime. Mr. Shope got me started on my library. I've got one of the better libraries. Haven't read everything in it, but I feel smarter just walking in it. My library. At least I was smart enough to buy it. Now I got to be smart enough to read it. Then, of course, I got to be smart enough to decide what's valuable and then do it. But this one is very important. Become a good reader. The books that helped change my life, Mr. Shope recommended, of course, the Bible. And my parents made sure I was a pretty good scholar by the time I was 18. That's been so beneficial for me, drawing from those illustrations, reading about those stories, people who made it and people who didn't make it, and what the difference was. And then other books that helped to really change my life. One called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And then a book that helped me become financially independent by the time I was 31. And that book is called The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. And I'm going to share a little bit of that book with you when I get to financial independence today, our third subject. But I started reading the books, attending the classes, making sure that I got in front of people that had something good to say. And then I started keeping a journal. One of the major things my teacher taught me was to keep a journal. He said, don't trust your memory. If you hear something good, just make a little note and write it down. Now, at first I took, notes on pieces of paper and torn off corners and backs of old envelopes. And it didn't serve me well, thrown in a drawer. Then I learned to keep a journal, a bound copy of all my notes. So I would suggest you do the same. Things that impress you, a poem that impresses you. When you attend a class, some of the ideas that impressed you, jot them down. You read something in a magazine, right? Some ideas, take those out, put them in your journal. Keep a good journal the rest of your life. This will serve you well. My journals make up a significant portion of my own library. And if you saw my library and saw my journals, I'll tell you what you'd have to say. This is the library, and these are the journals of a very serious student. No wonder Mr. Rohn was invited to lecture and speak on his experiences around the world. So I want the same thing to happen to you. Value capture that you can resort to later. Go back over it and review it and let it become valuable to you. So that's my first subject, personal development. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Develop the skills. Learn the lessons. Take the classes. Absorb all that is being taught to you these days. And then later on, of course, you can sort it out, what's valuable to you and how to refine it for your business and for your life and for your future. The main thing is to get it and start this process of personal change, personal development. And let me say it one more time. If you will change, everything will change. You'll never be the same. You'll keep growing. As you look back on a few months, look back on a few years, you won't believe the progress you can make economically, your relationship with your family, your friends, and whether you're in sports or economics or whatever. I'm telling you, that whole process of committing yourself for personal change, personal value, can really make your life unique and worthwhile. Now let's cover the second subject on setting goals. Mr. Shope gave me some tips on setting goals that changed my life forever. Now I want to share those with you. So let's talk about setting goals, and I also want to tie it to personal development, and you'll see how I'm going to do it as I progress here. Setting goals. We need to take a look into the future. There are to consider in terms of attitude. One is how you feel about the past. Best advice I can give you on that is treat the past as a school. Let it teach you the mistakes you've made, the things that went wrong, the things that didn't work. Don't use the past as a burden to carry, and don't use the past as a club to beat yourself to death. Past losses, past failures, past mistakes. But let the past be a school. Tough school, maybe. We've all been through some tough stuff. So if you feel good about the past, draw from it for experience and let it teach you. Then next is how you feel about the future. We've got to have the future well designed. The future is called the promise. And here's what we teach in our leadership series. The promise of the future can be an awesome force for your own future. The promise of the future, designing the future. There's two ways to face the future. One is with apprehension, and the other is with anticipation. I promise you, in my travels around the world, most people face the future with apprehension. And here's why. They don't have it well designed. They've sort of left that up to someone else. But here's the best way to face the future with anticipation. And you can face the future with anticipation if the future is clear, if the future is well designed. And I would like to have you consider some thoughts with me that help me to really change my future by giving it some thought and some consideration. And here it is. In setting goals, it's very simple. Number one, decide what you want. You just take a little time. You sit down and say, what do I want? What kind of skills do I want? What kind of income do I want for the future? What would I like? Where would I like to go? Places I'd like to visit. Habits I'd like to acquire. Skills I'd like to have. You just take a little time to think about what you want. Economics, friendships, people you'd like to meet, places you'd like to go. You just take some time. And then I suggest, when you've thought about what you want for the future, make a list. Just jot it all down. So really a very simple process. And then here's number 3. Keep all the old lists. I'm telling you, this served me so well, keeping my old list of goals. I look back now 10, 20 years ago, it's goals I set, lists I made, and I smile now because here's what I thought was so important, 20 years ago. Now some of those things aren't even on my list. I've got a new list. I've grown, I've changed, I've matured. But I give you that advice. Decide what you want. Number 2, write it down. Number 3, keep the old lists. And then here's number 4. When you get something that's on one of these lists, check it off. Part of the fun of having a list is checking it off. And then if you can add some drama to checking it off, see, that's what really helps. I set a goal to go to Spain many, many years ago. And when I finally made my first trip to Spain, I had that journal with me that had that list in it. And while I had my journal on my lap, waiting for the wheels to touch down in Madrid, I waited until the wheels touched the runway, and I checked it off. Just adding a little drama. So, part of the fun of having a list is checking it off. Now, here's what's important about the list and designing your future. If the future gets clear, the price gets easier. Because you got to remember, for every promise, there's a price to pay. Everybody's got to pay the price. Everybody's got to do the deal. Everybody's got to do the discipline. Everybody has to pay. But here's what I've discovered. If the promise is clear and powerful, the price is easy to pay. The price is some classes. The price is a few books. The price is a few disciplines. The price is finding something that'll make your life better, make you grow, make you change, make you develop. So the first part of the key is to design the promise. Then, what is the price to pay? I'm telling you, the price will be easy. Anybody in my audience can pay. No matter where you are, where you come from. Color doesn't matter, religion doesn't matter, where you grew up.
Everybody. Yeah, thanks for joining in.
Clear for yourself.
Just listen to some Jim Rohn over there, some motivational talk. My name is Bola Balogun for International Market Life. If you're watching me tonight, I'll say, number 1, thank you so much for taking your time out to come and listen to this. And number 2, I hope we'll be able to gain quite a lot from one another. So without further delay, just going to start. If you've got any question whatsoever, I'm just gonna pop on this second system so that I'll be able to see your questions. So if you just bear with me for a second, I will be able to quickly do that. Sorry. Share the screen. Present to everyone. Get this one turned on. Okay, so this is my chart. Basically, I use Trading View and I use MetaTrader, I can use basically any charting package anyway. The most important thing is for us to know precisely what we are looking for. So, and now we're gonna be approaching the market going forward. If you are joining me for the first time, a brief history about myself. I'm a 12 years financial trader. I've got 12 years experience of trading, analyzing the market, and yeah, I've basically been doing this from year 2006. When the high market life opportunity comes on, I realized that well, I might be of a good help to so many newbies trying to join in and looking for clarity in the marketplace. So if you've got any question, don't hesitate to ask me. Yeah, then we can take it from there. Let me a second. I'm just trying to pull up the other system so that I can be able to see your question at the same time while I'm doing this little analysis. So today I'm gonna try and look into harmonic parts. Harmonic scanner. We check what is coming up. We look into opportunities that can be beneficial. We look into the ones that we're gonna filter, and then we look into the ones that we're probably gonna take. In the meantime, I just want to set this one up quickly so that I'll be able to get into teaching. All right, because this is new, I always forget. Okay, so live streaming. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to pop your question into the chat box. That's just what I'm trying to set up right now. I should be able to see your question, and then don't hesitate to. Right. 1 second. This is coming up. Okay. Right. Thank you. So basically, my own approach to the market, it's a very simple approach, and until you can have a simple approach to the market and then combine it with every other things that you learn, then everything might look a little bit trickish to you. And that's the reason why I'm trying my best to see how best I can help people bring a lot more clarity, especially those of us who like to question into our trading. So the first thing first that I normally do is, let me load this other template that you want to look at. You can let me know. In the meantime, I'll be loading my own template and then be discussing from there. So the first market that I was looking at when the market opens today was I am one of my friends, Yogi, who attended last night. We were looking into the opportunity that comes up on Harmonic Scanner. Yeah, so I'm just going to pop on the Harmonic Scanner as well, so that at least we know that we have it on the side. And then I'll be able to now show you my own approach until I make good use of the Harmonic Scanner. Right, so last night we were looking into Euro New Zealand. Sorry, because that literally pop up on the Harmony scanner for us. So we were looking into that in case on this one. Let me go down the template. Chart it out. Is it this one? Is this one here? Just bear with me a second. No, not this one. The chart. So I'll use this one. Let me see. Someone scanner is on. I'm just waiting for a particular. Back on. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but the internet seems. Yeah, so sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but the internet seems to be playing up. But yeah, I think we're back on. Thank you for hanging on. Yeah, hopefully you can hear me now. 1 second. Hello. I hope. Hold on, please. Right. I don't know. Can you see my screen at all? I hope you can see my screen. Okay, you can hear me, and hopefully you can see my screen too. Right, so without further delay, I'm just gonna carry on. Okay, so sorry about this delay. It was just the internet that's messing up. So the first thing that we were looking at yesterday was the opportunity that came on Harmonics Ghana, which is on Euro New Zealand. Okay, normally what I do is I don't really use indicators, but it's good if you want to use it. Yeah, and I'm not saying you shouldn't use indicator. Everybody has got a different trading style, but based on my own service experience, I like to see things in clarity, and yeah, and henceforth with every school of thoughts that I've learned from, every mentor that I've learned from, I kind of find a system that is easy to understand and wouldn't really gives you a lot of stress to find out how it works. And yeah, and it is very, very profitable, and at the same time you can combine it with any other thing that you are using. It is, the probability of the system is so superb. It's not even about the high probability alone, but it kind of gives you the opportunity to have a low risk trading system, and that is key. I don't believe you should have 100, 200 pips, or even 50 or 30 or 70 pips before you can think that most probably you have a very good trading system. I believe if you have at least 5 to 15 pips worth of trade risk, that is what is going to be making sense to me. And how do you find this high probability low risk setup? And that is what I keep working on at the very, very start of my trading career. So the first thing I do is it's quite important for you to understand what the chart is saying. Yeah, and basically the only thing you can see on the chart is the candles. Yeah, and with these candles, they kind of have a lot of messages to them, and that's the reason why the first thing that we do, especially when you are trading professionally, is to do a top-down analysis. Okay, uh, to do a top-down analysis. I hope the video is still showing. I hope so. I hope you can see me fully. All right. So yeah, it comes back on. So it's to do a top-down analysis. And what is a top-down analysis? Which means you start from the bird's eye view. You literally start from monthly chart. And when you look at the monthly charts, you can see the whole picture. You can see every single thing that this chart is trying to do. You will be able to make an informed decision from there. You can literally see that this chart has come down, and then literally it's more or less like in a consolidation phase. So for a long period of time, you're not going to see a trend like this that keeps going and going and going for a very long time. The only thing that you're going to be seeing on this chart is how it's going to be bouncing off from the edges. All right, so the first thing that I'll do, yeah, is look at where the price is currently. All right, so once I see where the price is currently and I'm on the monthly chart, is I want to know how far these prices are going. on the monthly charts, both on the high side and on the low side. All right, so I'll take the highs and lows of the previous month. So that's the high over there, and then that's the low over here. Can you hear me? Can you please type in the chat box if you can hear me? I know I got a couple of people on watching, but I just want to be sure that you can hear me. I can. Okay. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, then I'll start over again. All right, great. All right. All right, no problem. So if you can hear me, great. All right, no problem. So what I'm basically saying is looking at the chart, you have to look at the chart from a top-down analysis point of view. You don't just look at the 30 minutes charts. You don't just, if you really want to do this as a business, if you really want to do this successfully, if you really want to do this professionally, to be deadly honest with you, you don't look at just the 5-minute charts, okay? And I'm very sure I'm going to be here for a very long time to be able to shed more light consistently, to be able to help all you newbie traders, to be able to help all you intermediate traders, to be able to get hands-on knowledge of how this auction literally works. Because the only thing that's going on here is auction. And how the auction in the market literally works. There's a method to the magna, all right. So, and that is what I'll be able to try my best to shed light on. There's a lot of information to take in, but notwithstanding, it has to be done bit by bit, little by little, from the simple to the competent, to the intermediate, to the advanced, to the proficient. So we have to take things little by little, and hence why I'm going to start by letting you to understand that the chart moves from an area of high to an area of low, okay? And there's so many things that revolves around the area of highs and area of lows, because that is what would define how far the prices can move. If you don't know how far price can move, then you wouldn't know precisely what part of the price cycle you are in, okay? If you know that this is the high and this is the low that the price literally achieved over a period of time, then that is already putting a gauge in place for you. All right. And with that particular gauge, there's a reason why we have that high and there's a reason why we have that low. One of the reasons why we will have a high is because at that particular point in time, or one of the reasons why we have a low is because at that particular point in time, we have some strong buyers or some strong at the high. That means we have some strong sellers at the high, yeah, and at the low we have some strong buyers at the low. So what people are trying to do in this market is find the cheapest price to buy, okay, so that if price appreciate, then they can make money, or find the highest price to sell so that if price depreciates, they can make money. You know, basically, if you want to sell anything, you want to sell it at the highest price as possible, and if you want to buy anything, you want to buy it at the lowest price as possible. All right, so that is one basic simple analogy. I hope that's understandable, but there are some other things that revolve around that high and low area. It can be a combination of, okay, how many people are particularly buying or selling at that particular high or low area. All right. So in terms of what we can refer to as volume, although in forex market we have a different kind of volume called transactional volume or tick volume. What that tends to mean is each transaction is then recorded in terms of volume. So if someone come in now and do a buy, then that is recorded. If a sell is done, that is recorded, which is going to be completely different to the kind of volume that we see in stocks, which literally shows the amount of shares or that is being exchanged between each traders or each participants in the market. With the forex market, because there's no actual volume, there's what we call tick volume, which is a transactional volume that measures how people are buying and selling together at the same time. So it's a little bit different. But the only indication that the tick volume can generate for you is if you're seeing a very high tick volume, it only shows that a lot of transaction is taking place. But yeah, we'll talk about volume later. So what I will tend to do is look at where price is currently. This is where price is currently. Yeah, I want to see every month's high and low that is closer to price currently. All right, so the last month, and I'll look at the last 4 months, at least 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that all these last 4 months is where I'm going to be looking at, but the last month that's so closer to this current month is this high over here and this low over here. So I've got at least 2 highs and 2 lows where I can make a reference to on a monthly chart. All right, and I'll look at the weekly as well. Yeah, so the monthly is the big body, the weekly now is more or less like we can say the monthly is the ocean, the weekly is the river. Okay, so the river will be flowing into the big ocean. So we want to see how easy the river is flowing into that big ocean. Then we go and look into weekly. So in weekly, I want to see the highs and lows as well. That's closer to price. But what I'm going to do is I'll tend to change the color. Yeah. So that I can, so as you can see, this is just understanding highs and low, because I have a friend in the room that's finding it difficult to know what the best area to take trade and then make profit. And this is the best way for you to be able to do that. Yeah. And this is something that you can construct yourself. And that's the beauty of this. For the mere fact that you can understand what it is not such a technical jargon. Yeah, like stochastic RSI. Some people does not even know the calculation that's involved in RSI. And meanwhile, when we were trading with institution, we have to know each and every formulas and why the RSI is RSI and why price will behave in that kind of a manner, you know. But since as changed now times, all you have to know is how to apply it, which I believe to many people is what's key. All right, so in this case, we've looked at the lows of the last week and high of the last week, lows of the 2 weeks ago, high of the 2 weeks ago, low of 3 weeks ago, and possibly high of 3 weeks ago. But what I need the most is which ones are closer to price. So this is where price is. I've got 2 above that's closer to price. I've got 2 below that's closer to price. The more I have, the better. All right. Then I'll look into what I will call the daily as well. So now I'll look at the daily as more or less like you know, when you have a big wave in the ocean, then you can have when you have a big tide from the ocean, then you can have a wave, then you can have a ripple. So I'll look at the day as more or less like the little ripple effect that is going into that larger weekly body of wave that will now go into the larger body of tight. So this is all about breaking things down. I'll look at dailies as well, and then I'll look at the low of the previous week. I'll change my color to something like this. Just because I'm teaching, it might be a little bit slow, but you will realize at the end of the day what you're going to benefit from understanding this. And this, more than anything else, it will be hard for you to find someone who will really want to teach you this and lay it bare on the table like this, because this is a serious money maker when you truly know how to make good use of it and follow it. It will literally bring direction, and you will be able to execute some trades that you won't even believe how you are going to do it once you understand how this work. If you're looking for 10 pips or 20 pips quick in the market, you know precisely where to do that, and I'll show you. So we've done the daily. So what I've done on daily is I picked the low of Friday and the highs of Friday, the low of Thursday, just Thursday, and the highs of Thursday, and then another low of Wednesday and high of Wednesday. Normally what I would do is I'll do it for a 4 time period. All right, so this is Euro New Zealand on daily done. Okay, so how do I apply this? Number one, if you remember on monthly, right, I discuss that we are in a range. Okay, on monthly, just have that at the back of your mind, which means in a very long period of time we're not going to be going very far, but the little that we go a long way for a day trader as well. So I think I show you what that range is by showing you the area of the range. So from here, everything over here is more or less like in a range situation. But now I've jumped on weekly. All right, so on the weekly now, we are still inside that range. Okay, but what we've seen on weekly clearly is one leg of the range gives us a very smooth uptrend. Okay, and then this leg of the range literally comes down and sell off. All right, but what I want to show you clearly is this as well. All right, so particular uptrend, you can see price goes up, comes down a little bit, yeah, and you will see clearly that it's an uptrend. Let's draw it. So price goes up, come down a little bit, and there's something that we call price structure. I wouldn't know whether you've ever come across that. Went up again. So this is a low. All right, this is a high. All right, this is higher low compared to that. All right, so if you don't know anything about trend, what I'm basically doing is just showing you a trend is a series of higher highs, which is high here, and then higher low. That is uptrend. Okay, so basically that's another high that is higher than that. Sorry, and low that's higher than that. So we call it a situation of a what trending up market, and this another high right there. Okay, I want to show you something a little bit, and then this another low. All right, this may be basic stuff, yeah, but sometimes some of us don't even know when the trend has changed. Okay, and that's another higher high compared to that. Okay, all right, so then look at this, then we have another low. All right, so when we look at the low of this one and low of that one, we can literally see that we've taken out the previous higher low. All right, and then we now have a low that is lower than this higher low, which is a lower low. All right, and then that is when that trend has messed about. All right, and then we have a high here, which is even lower compared to that, and then we are looking at the possibility of maybe we may have a low which is going to be lower than that to resume a new type of a trend. But obviously that would have been what we are looking for after we've broken this particular area. But have we seen that particular low? No, probably it's in the making. We may say yes. All right. So what I will then do again is, after we've seen that the trend has been breached in one way or the other, we are looking to go down on this weekly trend, okay, temporarily, because we are still inside the cycle of that range. But on a weekly basis, we are looking to go down after we've broken this. But the next thing that we saw is price move up, yeah, above all this low, okay. The moment, let me bring it up clearly. All right, so look at here. So we're talking about a low here, all right? That's what we're talking about. And then we see this huge sell-off, and this huge sell-off, literally, look at this. This is a huge sell-off, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's probably the internet or so. I'm so sorry if it's going off and on, but if you have any question, and the screen again, what your screen off and on. All right, do you know what I'm gonna do? Let me set up a Zoom link as well, okay? I'll set up a Zoom link and then I'll post in that Zoom link. Then maybe we can have, if you can see my screen on YouTube, probably you'll be able to see it on Zoom. The only problem that we have on Zoom is we can't do more than 40 minutes, okay? And then that link is gonna cut off, and probably I'll do another one. So bear with me. I'm literally gonna set up a Zoom. Okay. So I'm just setting up that Zoom now so that I can send you that link. Yeah, we good. YouTube is good because I can easily get longer hours, 8 good hours of continuous training, and obviously with that 8 hours, I wouldn't have to be relogging in like Zoom does. I'll see if I'm doing this regularly now. I'll see if I can get a commercial Zoom license. Okay. Right. So I will say, let's see. I need the link. Can we compare audio? Then I'll share my screen. All right, so let me now get you the link. I think the link should probably be in my email. Okay, the IA is yeah, I'll type that out for you. For Zoom, the ID, Zoom ID will be 395 476 671. Sorry, 671. 395 476 671. All right. So right. So if you're gonna join me on the Zoom as well, so that you can use that to continue to see the screen. That's the Zoom ID that I've provided for you. In the meantime, I will continue with this. So when we have this significant sell-off, yeah, we tend to breach all these lows over here, okay? And the moment we take out that low, yeah, what we are expecting can be true is for there to be a continuation of price to continue to move down, or for there to be what we can call crack and snap. All right, so in this case, I think we have what we can call crack and snap. We literally went down, we crack the low of this area, then we snap back, and then we try to trade back into that zone. But what I'm trying to bring out in this is clear is what I'm doing is you to be able to see. Yeah, the internet is going away the other, but we just manage it. I don't know. Today was perfect. Can you understand how we manage to get all these line charts? Might okay be messy, but those are your roadmaps. Can you understand that? Any question, please do ask. Or if you understand, please always stand on the highs and lows of daily, highs and lows of weekly, highs and lows of monthly. Then I will go to for. Right. So if you write up any message for me to know that you can see, if you can see my screen, and then you can send that to me, or you know, joining on Zoom. If you have any problem, kindly let me know. The network there is poor in a way. Yeah, I don't know what is going on tonight. Probably Zoom seems much better. Oh, great. Okay, so if you can see me on Zoom, then it's fine. People can, I think YouTube is the one that's kind of congested for now. Maybe of also different kind of live video. My voice is not clear again. Really? Oh, can you hear me now? It's quite painful. Can you hear me now? Let me unmute you and listen to because can you hear me? I'll go with Zoom. All right, no problem. Don't want to waste more time. Okay, you can talk as well if you need to talk. If you need to ask questions, you ask question. Um, so the highs and lows are daily, weekly, and monthly. All right. So what you want to do again now is after you've seen that, start the trend is on this particular move, and then we have a move that and start to come back down. What then is today we go on a money pattern. I think it was on hourly charts. Also, yeah, we've got this particular money pattern. Let me quickly play it. So if this pattern from X to A to B, B to C, first we have B somewhere here. Wake up with today. Okay. So what I was trying to show my listeners and everyone of us who were together yesterday is when the market literally opened, yeah, we have a situation where this is where the market opens, okay? So this money pattern, and then everybody is expecting possibility to buy. But when market opens, we literally saw price hit this area. Yeah, this is not a 1 hour chart. Okay, I probably made this a 30-minute chart. Well, let me make it a 30-minute chart because we were looking at a 30-minute chart. And to be honest with you, your zone of weekly days around here, yeah, let me take it off. And then this to sorry, this is the one I want to, and it might be completely difficult for you to anticipate what is likely going to happen when the market opens. Yeah, it will be completely difficult. Let's bring it back on. Yeah. So now we have but because we have these areas of weekly and daily in this zone, yeah, when market opens already, I have seen it and I know that wait a second. And this is what difference in institutional trading. If you are trading with big banks, you have to know day, you have to know your week, you have to know every single thing. The market opens, we kind of opens somewhere around there. Yeah. Put that line there. The first, and this is what we call initial balance. Don't worry, you still get on this. In first our market open, and as you can see, let me second. the market opens on particular day, yeah. First second, leave open in weekly and day zone. One thing you want to expect is once you break a resistance or a supply, we then come back to it and turn that support into resistance, okay? And that late mean that you over it. And okay, after that going back to that, and this is where you expect reaction. But this is what I want to show you about your stops. Okay, so once you have this on that, easily your stop will literally be broken, and when we go test, your stop is not going to be anything more than between here and here. So that's 5 pips. You can add another 5 pips to it to give it a little bit of room or anything above here. And as you can see, if you take this trade down, yeah, that's why the fact that Money Scanner is giving us a signal. And this is why sometimes people can't get the Money Scanner signal perfectly right. It says buy, all right? So many people would have gone in to buy. Maybe they wouldn't have hit their target profit. They don't know what happens around there. Price turn around and then start to go all the way back down. Are you, am I making sense at all? Hello? I'm making sense at all. If you can hear me. Hello. Type into the chat room and let me know. All right, great. So if I'm making sense, are you getting something at all? Are you getting something at all? If you can hear me, just let me know, yeah or no, if you can understand so far what I've discussed. Are you there? I can hear me. All right. I'm just waiting for you to type something for me to know that, yeah, I haven't lost you, but I haven't heard anything from you. So I don't know. Well, if you can hear me and if I'm making sense to you, kindly do not hesitate to say or type yes or no, or even if you've got a speaker, I mean a mic, you can just talk. This is Zoom because I don't want us to waste so much time. Oh yeah, then that's fantastic. And that's then what happened. And then price literally went all the way down. You have a low risk trading. We took a shot. Yeah, that's why the fact that we have that harmonic pattern trade. We took a shot of particular opportunity because what happened is price literally went above the weekly, yeah, and then start to close below the weekly as soon as we see the opportunity. Yeah, I adapted my other team members in the room that, yeah, I'm going to be taking a shot. I've closed below that weekly. I can see that we've rejected daily with a doji candle. Let me read it. So it's a doji candle right there, and then we have a bearish candle that follows that doji. Just confirmed to me that okay, everything is looking negative right now. This our harmonic pattern structure that we got on harmonic scanner not necessarily work until we see that move down. So there's a significant drop because the New Zealand Kiwi start to gain strength, okay, and there's a significant drop, and then obviously we make this profit. And if you look at it, it's a decent profit just for knowing or having about 7 pips, okay. That's such a decent profit. And then we come down to hit another areas over here. This can be our first target, and then subsequently you can gain extra pips, okay. And then yeah, we made a decent profit. When this price returned, yeah, we have a crossover of the EMAs. I know that things are staying all over here. Even when we are trying to go up, we haven't seen any EMA cross upward yet. So the buying process over here is not as strong as the buying process that we would have seen when we've seen an EMA cross. Okay, so there's an EMA cross, and then the buyers resume, and then they kept on firing and firing. And obviously, when they get back to this, how long it takes them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that literally take them more than 3.5 hours to be able to push price above it, and that is the power of what I'm trying to show you. Okay, that this is your trade occasion. This is an area where decisions are being made, and decision can be made to turn price upside down, or decision can be made over here. There's so many sellers trying to push price back down again. They want to take advantage of, yeah, we now know that this zone is there. But look at the EMA cross that I saw. When you have the EMA cross, while they are fighting and fighting and fighting, the price has already turned around and then wanted to be moving up. And that's what we see in the Euro New Zealand, okay? And basically, that is the way that I use just a simple technique, horizontal line, without not so much of indicators to make difference in the trading technique. All right, Damien, how are you doing, Damien? Thanks for
good.
Right, thanks for joining in. How is it going for you?
Not too bad, not too bad, not too good, not too bad.
Right, you last night? No.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I was just sharing this particular trade that I took last night. I wouldn't know whether there when we were discussing this trade, and it was so I was just doing quick for me to show how the trade turns to materialize and a few little things that you can just add to what we already have to make trading much more easier and better. I'm not saying that everything's going to click one time, but what I want to be doing now times is I want to be coming on more often and then elaborating on what we already know, and then see how best I can help people to just catch it with clarity, because I think majority of the problem is clarity problem. Once we have clarity and we know precisely what's going on, with all the tools that everybody should be able to trade them successfully. So what I'm trying to do now, or laying emphasis on, is what I call trade location. Yeah, because one gentleman was asking me about how is he going to be able to understand the right place to engage in trading. You know, like when you look at, if you have a zone, this are decision-making zone, and there's no way that anyone is going to tell you that they are decision-making zone if the please YouTube. All right, YouTube. How do I mute YouTube? One second. Everyone is on. I'm just going to stop broadcasting